Hello, everybody. Welcome. Who's like investigator? Hello, everybody. Welcome. Who's like investigator? Whoa, I'll just say no. Hello. So, hello, everybody. Oh, oh. I hope you can see me here. Oh, okay. So, okay. Um, everybody. I don't know. Don't know if you can see me right now. I don't know if you can see me right now. I arrived, but I see nothing. I arrived, I see no comments. What happened? I arrived, and I am here. I just read some hellos. People can see me for sure. Hello, everybody. Here we are again. Hello, everybody. Oh, yeah. Oh, so, oh, what a great time in the world, huh? It's almost like we went to heaven. Yeah, no. So, so guys, oh my God, I don't know, guys. I don't know this is. I think this, the time of the lag time is. I don't know. I don't know how it works. Okay, I think it's on your end. Sometimes it has. I don't know exactly. Okay, it has a little bit to do with the speed of the internet, even my speed of the internet, your speed of the internet. So yeah, complicated, no? Complicated. Yeah. But thank God we can have conversations together. We can have conversations. Yeah. So so this is it, guys. Okay. That New York furry the other night. I don't know what that was. Oh, I was. Oh yeah. Oh, yesterday. Yeah, I was. I was. I seem to attract. I'm like, oh, it's fine. So then I go out in the window, the rain, and I got yesterday the same thing. Rain like crazy. Okay. Is that what you mean by furry? Furry. I don't know. Flurry. Is that right? I don't know. But that's yeah, that's me. So hi from Mary Lila. Mary Lila. Mary Lila. In Brazil there's a name that's fairly common. It's called Marilia. But I saw this Marilia. No, it's Mary Lila. Mary Lila. Finnegan is her name. Uh-huh. Mary Lila is her name. Daniel Bert Berchesky. I got your name right. Yeah. Oh. So guys, oh yeah, Dan said the people running from the fake. Yeah, I don't know what it was. It was like something that in Times Square. I saw something. Yeah, yeah. Oh no, it was a Times Square thing. Is that what it was? Oh, maybe this is it. I thought it was rain. No, but I was not. Over there is like very touristy kind of area. I'm not. You never see me near. No, no, no. No, no, no. So no, no, I didn't. I was not there. Just like I seriously, I'm very. I never have a reason to be near Times Square. I'm never gonna be there. There's no reason really to be there. So no, no thanks. No, thank you, thank you. So, but there's a lot of offices around there. So there's people. It's not just stores, but there's like a lot. Stuff going on. But anyway, anyway. So guys, today how to tell you, I struggle a little bit. When I see these images, okay, of the kids without parents, to me, the whole thing with the Mississippi raids, okay, I don't know. Sometimes, I start crying. Like not, I don't want to be. This is not, a downer thing, okay. As you know, I don't like being, focusing on something negative. I just was like, I cannot, and I yell at, I do whatever I can from this perspective here. It's just, I don't know. It's just, and I feel like anyway, I'm just like, I cannot, okay. I cannot deal with this. Okay. Like in a way, it's like, I think it's normal. Okay. But it's just like, okay, just, so guys, I don't know if let me know what you think about this. Okay. This is what I kind of want to do. This is an experiment. I don't know if I've ever done a reading like this. Okay. So because it's actually a little bit closer to when I do personal readings. Okay, I feel like a lot of times you see the resolution of the question of the person's question, and then I walk backwards to see how did we get to that. Okay, because I think a lot of times, I find it, like I said, harder. It's not that I think harder and harder to kind of like deal with the minute by minute kind of thing. I feel like it's easier for me, or maybe for me personally, more helpful to look at how it ends. Okay, because and of course the when is not a question that is easy to address, but I kind of want to do this like arriving, getting at arriving. This is mostly vision. Okay, just arriving on the day where this is over. This is over, it's the end. It's so then kind of go back. Okay, go backwards. Okay, from that. Okay, so I just, because it's like, it's so, to think like, oh, what can we do now? And I feel like, I mean, unless it's like we, gonna go round up the people in ICE that could, there's a, it's just, I just, I don't know. So I want to do that. I want to do the looking, looking to the resolution of the issue. Like, okay, it's resolved. So then let's walk backwards. Okay. So, so that's part one. Part two, okay. Yeah, new vision for the country. Yeah, and part two, guys, I feel like it's kind of also, protecting, the kids right now, sending them protection if at all possible. Okay, and then hello, okay, everybody. So I'm just saying, talk about the things that I'm gonna do now. So it's just repeating myself here, but it's just this thing. I just quickly, guys. I want, so what I want to do about these raids. Okay, I want to getting to the point where, where we see something like, being resolved. Okay, we arrive at the day when it ends. So it's sort of like, sometimes you kind of like future projection a little bit. It's not so much, it's not necessarily how it, about a question, but it's more about, let's arrive at the scene where it ends. So let's, and I wanted to, guys, I've done this once, maybe a year ago. I remember one time I did these calls where everybody was, not everybody, a lot of people were in these calls. So I'm not going to do a call now. It's on the point, okay, right now at this moment. But I kind of feel like if you guys want to, join in, okay, um, and see, if you, I don't know if you have any, it'd be interesting to see, because I feel like this is the kind of thing that would be, you know what I mean? Kind of like looking from like asking from the future backwards. You know what I mean? So here we are, like kind of like that. So this is it, guys. So if you are in a position, do you mind if we do it? I would, as you know, I like to try new things, and I know that a lot of people get here later. So, but still, I kind of want to do it because I feel like, what I feel like, we need something a little bit more energizing. You know what I mean? I don't know, unless you disagree. Yeah, no, no. Just quickly, guys. Okay, it doesn't have to be long. Okay. Huh? Because I want to get to the resolution. Like, okay, the day when it ends, how does it end? And where do the children go? How are the parents reunited? You know what I mean? Like that. But the day of this happening, not like, because usually when we ask the questions like, how are they going to be reunited? How are this and that going to happen? How is this? You know what I mean? And I feel like that doesn't give us. I want the full picture of the resolution, and then, you know what I mean? Yeah. So let's see. Okay, just quickly, if you don't mind, because it's a bit, in a way, it's not just a prayer, but I'm just curious. Okay, if you don't mind. So this is the thing, guys. If you want to join in, okay, for this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna start counting to, ask for protection for everybody, and then we're gonna go. Okay. So we're gonna go to the. I'm just gonna speak. Okay, kind of like as if I'm like telling a story, like putting the child to bed kind of story. Okay, so I'm just going to say we're going to arrive at this time in the future where everything's resolved. So what time of the year is it? How is it happening? How are the children being reunited? And are all the parents being reunited? It's like kind of like the day, how, for example, the day when sorry to, but it's true, so when the concentration camps were liberated, right? uh Kind of like that in the Second World War, we saw that happening, right? There was historical footage of that, so something similar. Okay. All right. And so then we're going to go to the people who, yeah, children, interesting children's perspective, the ones that are, yeah, let's see, the ones that are, guys, but I'm almost like, I wonder if they're, let's see where it shows. Okay. um let's see where it shows. Okay, let's start. Okay, because I feel like this is what I'm doing. Let's go to the day where this happens, and then let's kind of quote unquote interview some of the kids. Okay, let's see what happens to them. And I know it could be, I don't think it's going to be tragic. The spirit doesn't let it. No, happens. For me, no. I can ask, okay, for the, it's not that there's going to be, then there's not going to be sad stories, but I want to see what is the resolution? What is the best resolution that these kids are going to have? What are their lives going to be like? In a sense where they be reunited. I feel like they're going to have a lot of money, from like the government, right? Like people, they're going to be sued. We're going to sue people are going to sue the government, which they should, right? So then, and then all those people who are involved in this, you know what I mean, have to pay. So like, okay, so all right, so let's, okay, so we're gonna get started. Let's say 1, 2. No, seriously, I'm gonna start protection, and then I'm gonna, like I said, guys, you can close your eyes, okay? And then I close my eyes too, and then we'll have kind of a experience. I'm gonna have, you know what? I'm gonna put. What about 10 minutes? Is it too short? Let's say 20 minutes. Oh, let's say 10 minutes or 15 minutes. 15 minutes, okay? So that, okay, started now. 15 minutes. Okay. I put alarm. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna ask for protection. Beautiful ray light coming into my head as I breathe in. I fill my lungs with light. As I breathe out, I project this light outward. So guys, if okay, so if you, I'm going to repeat it so you could join in, okay? So you could say the same, okay, do the same thing. So we'll just start again, just so you know. So we breathe in and we fill your lungs with light, and you breathe out and you project this light outward. And like as if, there's a fire coming from your, mouth or something, right? So then you project this light outward, and in front of you, you create a circle of light. So you create the circle of light, and you can visualize in your mind, and you step into this circle of light. And as you step into this circle of light and you feel kind of like it's protecting you, okay? And then you feel this like almost like a shield of some sort, energetic shield, so you feel connected, protected. And now you invite everybody in the group, kind of like, virtually, right? So kind of like everybody hold hands together. And you could also invite somebody that you're thinking of, a family member, anybody, okay, you want to invite in. And then as I say, every reading I do for everything, okay, so as we're protected and connected, um, I I ask that only the highest spirit, that we only hear from the highest spirits, and that this event create the good, and only the good for everyone involved. So we're going to ask that to bring in all the children that have been today separated from the parents. And the Mississippi was yesterday, even the Mississippi raid, and to connect, to project the light onto all of them. Obviously, there's 600 people there, so there's a lot of kids, but obviously it's not about the number. It's just, you can just imagine them being protected, having this strongest energy that you can project onto them, so that they are really almost like they are angels. Okay, so they're totally at one with the universal energy. Okay, so as I was explaining at the beginning of the video today, what we're doing just for now, not super long, is to look at a time when this is resolved. Okay. So we're going back, we're going forward into the future. Okay. And I'm not asking for a particular date as of yet. We're just going to close our eyes and arrive at the day when all of this is resolved. And you can look in the news when you arrive at the day, you can either turn on the television or look at the paper. It says the concentration camps are over, the children are liberated, the children are reunited with their parents. The suffering is over. And you can see the images on your television of that happening. And there's overwhelming emotion, and they're reconnecting with their parents. I see them, interesting that, I swear to God, I see these they look like military airplanes bringing the parents to meet the children in different locations, okay? But there's a huge field I see where they're all being reunited, like a military base or something, but in a good way, right? Not in a bad way. So they're all being connected, reconnected, and this is a moment with the country everybody rejoice. And even though there's, it's going to take years for this whole thing to be completely resolved. And I'm saying that everybody's like, oh my God, it's perfect, everything is over. No, but it's just like I said, projecting the light and seeing them reunited, reconnected, and having all their names and all, and also see Mexico, Guatemala, Ecuador, a lot of countries where their citizens were, kidnapped by the U.S., right? Kind of giving, like a diplomatic assistance, okay, to reconnect. And so this is it. Now, then I see the people that are kind of involved in this in different ways, okay? Um, okay, so they're going to be arrested. There's going to be a trial, special trial for humanitarian, okay, humanitarian issues. Okay. Now, I see this happening. So let's do two things, guys. First, I'm going to go into the future and see in 10 years time, okay, how things this is the day when they were liberated, okay? So now we're going to go in the future and see what happened. Let's say pick one of them, one child that's, the spirit's going to guide us, okay, to tell us what happens to the children, to one of them, and then we can find another. But as you know, from readings, it's always important to be very specific, and you find one case, and that's how we're going to be specific for today. So we're going to go forward, okay, 10 years. So it's 2000 and let's say 30. 2030. What is your name? I am finishing. Let's go, Mariana. Sí, sí, ahora que sí. So I see this girl and her name, I don't know, usually it's actually a pretty Brazilian name. It's Janaína. I don't know why. It doesn't have to be exact the name, but I see her. She's actually at the Yale Law School. She goes to, she gets compensation from the US government and she gets citizenship, okay? Kind of what happened in Germany with the Jews, okay? um, that afterwards, if you're related to, it's like if you're family connected to Germany somehow, you could get the citizenship. Okay, if something happened like that. Okay, so then afterwards, so then she's compensated, and there's a kind of a special um, how do I say this? Like a special class of people that suffered through this, and so she's going to law school, okay? And a lot of, and I don't, this is, may sound like such a strange thing to say, but a lot of these kids that went through this, they're gonna, and I don't want, it almost sounds Catholic to say, but it's like these kids that suffer this, they want to create a better world. They don't want this to happen to others. So in a weird way, it's going to empower, like they're going to have a high status in society because they're like the the angels that were abused in some ways, right? And at the same time, I think a lot of them are going to do very, very good, many, many, many good things to the world. Okay. Because they are aware of what is happening, not just to them, but to their families and their culture and their parents. And so I see that a lot of them are helped and a lot of them are, and I feel, guys, honestly, and I know it may seem like we're not doing anything. Okay. I feel like the prayers help. Okay, the prayers help in the sense of, like, I swear to God, guys, I see, I I'm sorry, just emotional, okay? Because as it's a difficult topic for me, okay? But like I see the kids, normally uh, what they went through so young and without love, so alone without anybody to hug them. Normally, it's you cannot recover from that, but because there's so many people, and guys, I'm not saying that this is a substitute. I'm like, oh, thoughts and prayers, not like that. Not saying that this is a substitute for having a mother and all of that, but I do think, guys, the love that if we can't be there with them, then we can send them, It makes a difference. It makes there's an impact, and I feel like what I see these doctors saying eventually that like a lot of them were, they recovered dramatically, also because there is so much there is an effect. Okay, eventually there will be an effect. I'm not saying that they were not tortured by this was completely awful what's happening to them, and I'm not saying they're going to be completely healed, but I feel like um it's like, you know what I mean? I feel like we cannot let their memory, like, you know what I mean? It's interesting, very interesting situation here. Okay, so that's my sense. Okay, that they're going to have kind of a leadership role in many things, and okay, so guys, and it feels like in a different way, it seems a little bit like, to me, like reminds me of what happened in the civil rights era, when there was, if I recall correctly, I watched the documentary about the crossing of, was it Selma. Okay, and how at the time, supposedly it shocked people when it was on television because people realized what was really happening. Okay, so I feel like similarly. Okay, and then, I mean, even though we think, oh, those people like are very respected, right? Except that the far right people hate them, like now, like a lot of the, the people in the house, like Elijah Cummings and so forth, right? It's like disrespected by trash show. Um, but still, they have this respect, like everybody, like a great respect for what they went through, and so similar in a different way. Okay, so that's what it's showing. Okay, so then let me just go back. Okay, so what's going to, okay, and this is the thing that, for me, guys, as you know, I probably feel the same. The hard thing for me is understanding I need to know that these people are going to go to jail, that everything, they're going to lose everything. So I want to know, show me the people that are responsible for this right now in 10 years. What's going to happen? Okay, I want to know that. I need to know, guys, and we have to think of this is, in a way, it's like the return to sender thing. Okay, is important in this case. I need to imagine, even if it's not happening yet, the justice is going to happen to these people. Not just that the kids are going to have some sort of justice, but the perpetrators are going to pay. They're going to pay. Okay, so tell me what happens to them. The perpetrators, the people who created these concentration camps, the people who designed them, it's all coming out who designed them and why. It's showing Stephen Miller, all different kinds of people that we don't know. There's a lot of people, guys, that they're not public about it, okay, but they designed it, they wanted it to happen. And they're gonna, okay, they're like Nazis. Seriously, like, oh, look, there was concentration camps back in the day. Let's do another one. Okay. So guys, but I see their houses falling apart. I mean, it looks like the tower, but everything's shaking, everything's falling apart, and they are and they're like buried underneath the rubble of that they created. Okay, but what does that mean? Does this, yeah, they're going to be endless lawsuits. There's going to be a new form of legal, a law or some sort of law, okay, where everything, all the gains they made, I hope so, guys, it seems like, but all the gains they made, but from torturing children in some way, is all taken from them and is all returned either to the government or those kids. Okay, and everywhere they go, guys, I swear, I've seen this before, and I hope this is true. There's a list of people. You know how there's a sex offender registry? Something like that. There's going to be a registry of the people who were, who did this. So that everywhere they go, they can't have like, you know what I mean? They have to, not repent is not the, I don't know, guys. It's not as if they are necessarily all of them in prison, but even when they leave prison, they are marked. You know what I mean? Like, like, it's just horrific. Okay. Okay, so how, okay, so let's now go to the day of the liberation of those concentration camps. Okay, so of the children on the border. So what happens? Let's go backwards. How does this how is this, what, how, okay, so tell me the events that lead to it. Oh, cry, it's not happening. Take more. So guys, it shows, okay, so it shows that the thing with Trump, again, it's only when Trump leaves, but it's almost like the day that he leaves, this is over, okay? Um and so so what happens, what from where we are today, how do we get to that leave to the thing being removed? Forget about Trump necessarily, but let's look at how they finished, how they stopped these things. So how does it happen? They have the government, the House people have the list of these places, most of them, and they are also taking. Oh, interesting! They are taking the Palantir database. There's a database of ICE, so they know if they're lying, it's because there's a secret one where they keep this, but the information is okay, is visible, like it, is accessible. In other words, okay, so they're gonna go. They just cut it. They just remove it, and it's a humanitarian crisis. That's what it's called. And it's interesting, guys, because you know what it is it's kind of, I said before many times, about the whole thing, that the message is about how America has to confront its past, the reality of slavery and all of those things, different kinds of, and so in a way, the history of the kids, it's kind of a trigger to look at other things, okay. Exactly. That's the Freedom Riders. Exactly. It was amazing. It was amazing. But what I feel here is that there is have to be, like I said, guys, I always see these hearings, huge hearings, and there's a justice reform connected to this, okay? And it's all this like America coming to terms with the truth, okay, about everything. I think truth and things coming out a lot of it. So, and I saw, guys, I swear I saw this thing where, okay, so how does it end again? Let me just go back to how does it end? More instability, markets unstable, they're leaving. I feel like the government is kind of abandoned, to be honest, guys. That's what it feels like. And that's why Trump is gonna, I don't even know, is Trump removed? How does it end? Bye, saying goodbye, I gotta go. More stuff coming. Guys, I also see this thing of like more revelations about Trump and Kushner and his family. It never ends until the government can't really function, and there's even like there could be the indictments of the senators and all. You know what I mean? Like it's just kind of more and more and more pressure. It's saying we have to keep the pressure. And one thing, guys, there's several things that I want to say here, okay? That the couple of things, the 15 minutes hit, okay? So a couple of things that I want to say here, okay? That important messages are exhaustive messages. So that we have to keep the pressure. That is very important that they feel the discomfort, right? That they feel we have to continue, like calling their employee, doing whatever it is that it makes them feel uncomfortable, and ask them the hard, the things that no, they know. It's not our, no, it is. So we can ask, asking them, emailing, the pressure has to be on. It doesn't even necessarily have to be exactly like protest, but protest in different ways, in an interpersonal way. So you put up a little poster in your town or in front of the whatever factory that is going to, anything that you could do to put the pressure, to remind people, to have their conscience like rise their, wake up the conscience of the people that are kind of compromising. Okay, that is the work they do. Now, the other thing that I thought was very interesting, and in a way, guys, it gave me an answer of something I've been struggling with for a while, with the kids. How do we not just do something, but how can we mentally deal with this? Like, it's so difficult. So it's saying here that, like, and I had said this to you guys before, okay? So when you hear these news, what it suggests is that you have to think that you have to do this kind of like a mental, seeing the day when they're free, the affirmations, they're free, they have a great life ahead of them, they recover very well from this experience, they reunite with their parents, because it's saying that this affects the outcome, okay? Because even if we see the news on these horrible things that are happening, in a way what we see on the news is the past. So we have the ability to kind of project, to affect the future by the present, making it real, because it's saying, the evil people, what do? They have the ability to believe in their evil ideas more than we do in many ways in our good ideas. It's almost as if we don't understand that we have the power to make the, just as like I said, I always give the example of the Koch brothers. Granted, they have money. The difference is that they're like, oh, no, I believe that nobody should have health insurance, and I believe that environmental issues are bullshit, because I have a company that works with oil, so I'm going to tell the world that everything that is not on my favor is wrong. That's what they do. But we have to wake up to the fact that we can create this reality. If we, it's like it has to become so normal to us that we see it happening, instead of like, oh my God, this is happening, oh my God, look at him, look at him. It's like you have to start to work on it yourself and really create the world of this stuff, see this stuff happening. Okay. Hi, Susan. So, so that's kind of what's saying here, that we have a role, and that nobody wins. What happens, I said before, guys, fear, it paralyzes us, and it doesn't let us wake up to the inside, that we can create this reality, and we have to kind of live in it. And it involves a little bit like observing the world, like, it's almost like, yeah, interesting. Allison saying that's why these videos are so important. It helps us see it happen, then we can imagine and make it happen. Yeah, so that's what it's saying, guys. For me, honestly, I watched the video and I cried. I couldn't, seeing these children crying, and they're like, "Where are my parents?" You know what? Like, and they're just there on the street. They're just on the street like that. Okay. And to me, that is very, it's just extremely upsetting what it is, that thing. Okay. So you know what I mean? So basically, I'm just like, that's what it is. You kind of seeing the families reunited, see them succeeding, and seeing the people going to jail. This is the other thing that it's suggesting. Even if you don't see the justice today, we have to imagine justice. And I've said before, when we had the conversation with LK, we have to define justice ourselves. Okay, we cannot wait for like, oh, but there's no law. No, but there's going to be a law. There's going to be, you know what I mean? And so that it's a little bit like sculpture, like you're carving something. You have to start so that you carve it out so that it takes shape in a way, so that's what it's saying, is that you have to learn that every day what is, in the time that we're living in, that what is prayer. Prayer is not to ask that God, you do something in yourself. You have, because I think, this is the idea of the awakening, and that's what I think I've been thinking a lot about this, is that we wake up to our power really inside of us, because if we carry a little bit of God, and I think we all do in a way, um it's not even more than imagining. It's closing your eyes and feeling it happening, seeing it realistically happening. Okay, even if we don't see it yet, it has to happen in our minds. It has to happen. I have to see it happen, because then, guys, like I said before, the other vision about the thing that became controversial about the return to sender, is that when we start seeing it happening, then it's likelier that it's going to happen, and that it's likelier that we can call someone and say, no, 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 this is going to happen. You know that, right? So, right. So it's very interesting. Like, for example, I could call someone and say, oh, so I just want to tell you that, you know what? Justice is coming, and you have a time to really do what you can to stop it. And you could do it now, because if you don't, you're going to be marked for the rest of your life, and all your assets are going to be taken. That's the price you're going to pay for this. Okay. And everywhere you go, everyone is going to know who you are and what you have caused. Like, seriously, like, so even if it's not yet, because, guys, and I think about this a lot. I've been thinking about this a lot, the whole thing of like the bots and how they use all these negative, fear mongering attacks and so forth, right? That is programmed. That's not something that a person actually wants to say. Either they were told to say something, or they were technically programmed to say something. So what I mean by that is that the reason why this works is that if it wasn't working, they would not have so many bots saying these things. You know what I mean? So this is, I think, what they fear the most, is that we realize our power, you know, right? So you know what I mean? It is like, we realize our power. So I feel like, you know so this is it, guys. Just seeing this thing happening and realizing that we're not powerless. They want us to feel like, oh, we're powerless, plebs or whatever, right? No, we're not. And that's it. And we have the power, you know what I mean, to do this. And so, but we have, because, so people say, a lot of people are like, well, but I don't pray, I'm not religious, I'm not this. It's not, the point is not, you don't have to be religious. It's really literally about closing your eyes, imagining it happening, so that you can act on it more easily, so that you already, it's so clear in your mind that you just kind of go and tell someone this, and you vote for the person, and you say it, and you repeat it over and over again. The world that you want to see is here, and what is it, right? Because I think for our whole lives, I know I never thought, I was like, oh no, I have whatever, it is what it is, people rule the world, I just watch it. Well, it just, we feel like we feel passive. I felt passive before. So now we're realizing, no, I create this world, and what is it? And like, even if we, And it goes from, like I said, guys, and what I'm understanding here from lately, the late of the informations, is that we create the good and the bad too. And that, how they say, I believe it's kind of true, the whole thing of quote unquote law of attraction, that's kind of hokey, there's some hokey things in it, but overall it's kind of true. It says that even if you want the law of attraction talk about ourselves, no, but others also. The thing that we think for good for the people creates for them, but also the bad. So what I'm saying is that we think that there's something kind of wrong about us wanting justice, okay? Right? Yeah, I was wanting. I think Anne's talking about David Bowie can be heroes. Yeah, but the thing about, we can be here just for one day, but we're gonna be more than one day. We're gonna be heroes for longer. You know what I mean? Like, not even heroes, because I feel like it's kind of like in our quiet lives, we can see it happening, we can make it happen, and we can, when we wish. This is the thing, guys, and that's what it is. Like, I think in a way, anger. What I think is great about anger is that it makes us act. It drives us to do something. But on the other hand, the thing about that's why I'm, the one thing that I'm always very wary of is fear. Because fear is the thing that paralyzes, that stops us. Like, oh no, I'm not going to do anything. Oh my God, what's going to happen? No, you close your eyes and you see the thing you want happening, and that's the power. You know what I mean? In that sense, is that it dry. Once you have clarity about the stuff happening, then you can vote, you can ask for this, you can demand it happening, because we didn't even think that this was possible. Okay, and this is why, when people say attack. Yeah. Yeah. I was some from spirit that the worst concept invented is imagination, because we attribute it to everything, which stops us from creating, because imagination creates. Yeah, I don't know that I understand what it said, but anyway, uh, yeah, I don't know what it means. But anyway, so what I'm saying, guys, is that we have to, see it as realized and see it as real, and then go for it, okay? Because before, that was the thing, the pattern that I've been seeing also, the idea of no more heroes, right? That there is no more institutions that are going to tell us what they're going to find, all of it. So see what I'm saying? And that we have to speak it as if we were ourselves, like one of the Koch brother, as if we felt we were as powerful as one of them. Okay, so it's important information. Okay, so okay, so that we become comfortable with this other reality that we can create, and we're gonna, as we become more comfortable, we see it, we start demanding it. Okay, so so right, so interesting information. No, interesting. I think this is kind of interesting. So this is it. Okay, so when you, in other words, when you see something, oh my God, so awful, just, you have to also imagine this. So when you catch yourself feeling something horrible like this, you have to close your eyes and imagine the solution. In other words, you can imagine it not happening, and have something much better happening in place of it. So baby, because right now, guys, in the time of information warfare, which I think is what we're dealing with, okay, I feel like we have to trust something inside. Okay, so interesting, no? Interesting. So this is informations, no? Interesting. Interesting informations. Interesting informations. Interesting informations. Interesting informations. So so guys, okay, so this is it. Okay, so this ends that part. Okay, I thought it was kind of quite interesting. Quite interesting. So okay. So wow, okay. So next, okay, so now there's those money things, okay, happening, okay. Just concentrating, concentrating. Okay. Okay, so anyway, so okay. Let me just go back to the questions, guys. To make sure I am following the questions. I don't get distractions. So actually, Lindsay L had asked the question, okay, and I had not asked the last time she asked. So this is related to this thing. So what, in terms of action, can we do it? Okay, can we do this time? Okay, so if we right now seeing all these terrible things happening, what can we do what are the best things we can do? What actions can we take? First of all, do not believe. You have to acknowledge the negative, but you have to transform it into something positive. For example, the El Paso, it's interesting. The El Paso, obviously, it's interesting, weird example, but like El Paso, obviously, you can imagine it is different. So it's like, for example, you can imagine that the country finally woke up and did something about gun violence. So you have to sit down and write, okay, so now what is the solution? Even if you don't know exactly the solution, you write it out. You said, okay, so there's going to be stricter gun laws. There's going to be care, community care. And somebody, one of you guys, I think I forgot who it was. It might have been Sally. I think she said something. She suggested something I thought was so great. Having the teenagers connect with their communities. Okay, help the elderly and do the volunteer, the kinds of things like that, work in a soup kitchen, stuff like that. So they start to see the connection, okay, between try to help others, and so that it feels that the America becomes more about communities more and caring about one another, because it in a way this is how it originates. Okay, so it's saying that, like I said, you have to start not being like, oh, the outrage machine, right? It's like seeing the solution and going with it, and then speaking the solution. Okay, because like the stuff of like, because I think Trump likes to have us like whipped up. Oh my God, he said this. Oh, right. So it's like we have to create this kind of separate. We can't. We have to create a kind of a weird way, like a bubble, because the environment is so toxic with lies, right? Even we talked about the New York Times and all those things. The journalists are repeating what he says, and that's not, it's never productive, right? It does not matter what he says, because he's not a good person in any way, or he only wants to create the harm. So we just have to imagine everything healing and all of that, so that's what it's suggesting. So this is okay. So then what about, for example, the thing that already happened in Missouri? Exactly the same thing you were saying, that you have to imagine the kids reunited, this concentration camps stopping, the justice being done, and all of it. Even if right now we saw this happening, okay, because we cannot despair. We cannot because it's okay. Oh, I actually have a question. This is funny. It's all now connecting. So I forgot which one of you asked. Let me see here. Somebody asked. Oh, it was LK. So she asked, did Benedict Donald, aka Trump, right? Here, the protesters in El Paso, were the Mississippi raids connected? It's not exactly how she phrased it, but that's the story. She said that apparently those raids were planned before, but you can't help but think. You know what I mean? Doesn't it feel like it can't be? It's totally connected in a way or another, even if it was not planned. Like even if it was planned before, there's a whole connection with the white supremacy and then getting the Latino people arrested and all of it, right? So was it okay? So first of all, um, in the case of this, okay, so first of all, let's go to now changing the subject a little bit, guys. Did I get the answer? So what can we do here? So imagining it, you have to, when you see something negative, again, transform it, and I'm yeah, transform it into the solution. Be comfortable with the solution, okay, and then you speak it. You demand from the solution, not from the complaint of, oh my God, he said this or he did that. Okay, so this is it. Okay, so this is it now this is it now. Well, since the whole thing, and it's okay, so calling, just saying that what to do is to make life uncomfortable for the people involved. So you can call the companies that are working with Trump, that are donating. Did you see the thing that the thing about Equinox? It's kind of interesting, guys, by the way. The thing with Equinox and what is it? The other one is a spin. What is it? Soul Cycle. Okay. So these guys, these gyms, I don't know if you're familiar with them. So there's one here, there is a chain here, it started in New York, I think, Equinox, very expensive gym. And then there's another, the Soul Cycle, that I also think is I don't know, it's like so expensive. I've never been, and I don't think I'll ever. It's like $50 on a class. I don't know, it's a crazy or something like that. So 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 then so then it turns out that the guy he was do fundraiser in the Hamptons for Trump. The the owner of this thing, and there's a huge outrage, okay, because there's a lot of gay men who are supposedly are members of Equinox, and and like a lot of people, a lot of, I would assume, fairly liberal people. So it's kind of interesting, they, oh my God, it's so uncomfortable. Oh yeah, oh, so that's it. People have a mouth and have a voice, and a lot of people are not going to pay for the gym. Okay, they can clearly afford, if you can afford a gym, it's 220 a month or whatever, they can afford it, but they're going to choose not to, even though it is really supposedly like top, it's very hard to find, okay, something like this, but still, you know what I mean, it's like people are so sickened by this that they do this, okay. So this is it, guys. And you know what's so funny? I was unsubscribed New York Times, and I got an email asking, survey, why did you leave? So I cursed at everybody there. I was like, so I don't care, like, because I'm sure I'm not the only one, and all the people say, I'm not gonna pay for this person's salary, not even if it's a 1/4 of a cent. This person is really, I can't live with myself and pay for this person's salary in any way. It's sickening. And it's like, I was like, fuck Brett Stevens, fuck Barry Weiss, fuck Trump, and fuck you. I was like, I said, I'm sorry, I said, huh. No, but I said it. I was so angry. Like, I was like, you cannot. This is not normal. Do not, do not. This is not normal. It's a joke. Like, if you think I'm not gonna accept, this isn't acceptable. As long I'm never gonna. No, it's true. So, sorry, I'm like ranting. I'm ranting. So anyway, I ranting. I'm just like, it's not acceptable, okay? Just deal with it. If you're uncomfortable, bye. See you later. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. Oh, I'm sorry. It's hurt my feelings. Hurt feelings. No. So, it's like not acceptable. Anyway, so people are angry. Sorry, I went off a little bit. So anyway, people are angry, and there's all these things happening. And that's what I say, guys. Make them feel even more uncomfortable. Okay? Make them feel uncomfortable. Because, that's it. They have to, oh, really? Oh, is that, yeah, that's it. People are uncomfortable because, oh, look, are you in concentration camp? No, so shut up. Are you complaining? No, shut up. Like, so, so anyway, it's like, and guys, I can't even get started in New York Times because they betray their own people. Betray New York people to like, okay, no, it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. So, so anyway, moving on. Let's move on from. Okay, so okay, so guys, okay, so that is interesting. Okay, so now going back here to Donald. Okay, so that was this thing here. Finishing up the other question about the action. That's how it is. Make it as uncomfortable as possible. Okay, even if it doesn't necessarily have to mean you don't have to be necessarily do a protest, and do something that makes people feel uncomfortable, feel the same discomfort. Okay, so, and also connect with the community. If you can also connect with your own communities, make people feel connected and together. Okay, all right, so then I'll go now to LK's question again. Did Benedict Donald hear the protesters in El Paso? Were the Mississippi raids connected? Okay, so did he hear? He didn't like it. I see him. He drove through it, okay, and he didn't like it. He can't. It's so weird, guys. He can't see it. He's like, go away. These people, they hate. Like they, he's like, oh, he hates it. He feels it in his body. He hates it. It's so strange. It's so strange. He hates it. Okay. But you know what? He was forced. Guys, did you see there was footage? They have cameras to make propaganda films. So he was kind of not forced to go, but he was like, he didn't like the situation. He saw how bad it was, but he was kind of forced to go. Okay, so then he's like, oh, go away. Can you just go another place? I hate it. I hate it. So he's just like, I don't want to go. I don't want to see. So he sees it. Yes. So, oh, hi, hello, Jody. Jodylyn. Jodylyn. So, okay. So anyway, so okay, so just going back here to going back to the question of LK, what did he hear? So he heard the protest, so he's very uncomfortable. And because so the thing is that, like I was saying, guys, the thing about Trump, he has an amazing ability to project what he wants to see. Oh, so right, so project what he wants to see. So what it's saying here is that he can't see it. He can't unsee it. That's it. He can't unsee the fact that he's not popular and that people hate him. He hates feeling it. He hates that feeling that he's hated. Okay, so he tries to like hide, and yet he wants to be like, so interesting dynamic with Trump. He wants to be liked so badly. Okay, so when he notices that like the country, it's strange because at the same time that he feeds off of hate, he loves it clearly. He hates it when he makes him unlikable. Okay. Okay, what happened? How was it? How was the visit? Oh my God, guys, I see somebody injecting, like he's on drugs, okay, putting something on him to talk. Like they can't, there. I swear to God, guys, there's not some drugs happening here. Yeah, to make him kind of like do something because he can't. His body's starting to like kind of resist. You don't talk about when the body, the body doesn't obey the mind kind of feeling. So stuff like that. Okay, because they were like they wanted the propaganda people there wanted him to like, oh Pierre, oh, let's smile at the victims, like, oh, there I am, oh, ha ha ha. So did you see, by the way, that the surviving victims at El Paso refused to see him? Okay, so he, right, that's what I saw. There was somewhere else that he forgot where he went, but they refused. So 8 of them or something like that. So that was very good. Okay, so now then let's see the Mississippi raids. Okay, were they connected to this? It's telling me, guys, yes, but it's connected in a different way. It's connected simply because it's all a result of the white supremacist terrorism ideology. Okay, that they were planned. They wanted to make these raids be cinematic, in the sense that he wanted to be a lot of people. Okay, and it's funny. I'm seeing these, like, there's the media there. They wanted it to be publicized like that. But it's the same, guys. It's the same. It's kind of the same thing. It's just that the one is carried out by the government because some of the white supremacist people are in the government, and the others are carried out by random kids being used. Okay, they're being used to do this. They're choosing to do this. Okay, so this is okay. So it was not planned necessarily. Like it was not necessarily was going to be as a result of it, but it shows that the entire government, the purpose of it is oppression. Okay, so this is it. Okay, so that's interesting, guys. And by the way, I just randomly happen to not be using cards. If you don't mind, let me know if you want cards. Okay, it just so happened because it started like this today. Okay, so interesting, no? Interesting. Okay, so guys, now I'm gonna go to a question, a different question. Since we're on visions, okay, maybe there's other things I could use cards for. Now, this is very interesting question. Very interesting question. So I never had this question. Oh, interesting, no? Never had this question. There's always a first time. Uh-huh. I never had this question. There's always a first time. Let's let's ask this question. It's about Trump's brother. Maybe he was the good one. Yeah, but he died of alcoholism. Oh yeah? He was an alcoholic. Did he know Trump's secrets? Does he have something to tell us about today? Does Trump's brother know something to tell us for today? Let's ask Trump's brother. Let's go ask him. I'm gonna close my eyes and I'll tell you what I see. Guys, sorry. Okay, I subject you to my singing. Sorry. Sorry. I know, seriously, I apologize. So so really, like, isn't that an interesting question about his brother? I thought it was such. Let me just read the question. Very interesting. Okay, so she asked. Oh, I believe it's a she. It would appear Trump's brother was the exact opposite of him. I wonder if he would have good advice for us, or could he provide strength on our behalf from the other side? Very interesting question, no? Interesting. So, like, since I can talk to dead people, yeah, maybe, guys, I never think that maybe I can have conversations with him. Conversations. Okay, so guys, do you happen to know his first name? Let's look it up. I don't know. I know so much about the family. I love that family. I love him. I love them all. Yeah, I love them. I wish I was one of them. I wish. Okay, let's find out his name. Okay, so Trump's brother. Guys, oh my God. Oh my God. Was there that one? Okay. Oh, this is it. Fred Trump Jr. Oh my God, look at the kid. Oh, okay, interesting. Guys, so funny. You know where this article is? It's on Town and Country, the upper crust, the magazine. And it's funny because socialite people do not like ham, no. So okay, so addiction facts. Okay. Okay, so So okay, so so Fred Trump was the second oldest of Trump's siblings. Mary Ann Trump, the judge, is the eldest, followed by Freddie, Elizabeth, Donald, and Robert, who also worked in the family business. Okay. A 2016 article details Freddie's decline into alcoholism, revealing that the eldest Trump's issues began in his mid 20s and that by 1968 his drinking started to severely impact his life. So, oh, interesting. You know, guys, right? Okay, so you see the pic? Okay, I'll show you this. Okay, you could see a picture. He seems nice. Can I tell you? Okay, this is what I'm reading from. It's interesting. There's a picture of him. He looks. Can I tell you? I mean it the best way possible. He looks gay to me. Okay, I think he. You know, I can see why. You know, I can kind of see. You know, can you imagine? And not to say maybe I hope it's not a stereotype, but I feel like gay people are more sensitive, okay, generally, men or women, you know. So can you imagine being like a sensitive normal person in that family? Like I could see, you know, before they haven't even started reading. So you know what I'm saying? So let's find out from our phones. Guys, did you remember the story of Trump denying healthcare? Remember the story that he sued his brother and there was one of his children was had brain issues. Do you remember this story? Guys, it was like one really horrific thing. I remember this. Well, let's find out in front of my house. In front of my house. Right? Do you remember this story? Oh my god, it's even so awful. Okay, so let's find out. Okay, so what so let me just go back here to what is the question? So, okay, just go back. I wonder, does he have advice for us? Does he have what advice does Trump brother Fred Jr. have for us about Trump and what's coming? Uh, okay, so dear Mr. Fred Jr., I know I'm not saying, you know, I know this, you know, brother is, you know, the devil's child. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm assuming for some reason I thought you were kind of a good person, relatively speaking. But tell us, you know, something if you could, if there's something you could tell us, advice about how it's going to end and how to deal with this. You know, if you know, tell us your perspective of things. Okay. So, guys, I'm gonna talk, but it's gonna be more like you know, let him have you know, let him talk. Okay. So I'm gonna avail myself here for you for your words. And then okay, so girl, I was a bon vivant. I liked the finer things. I had a good taste for art and architecture, and I knew that there was no place for me because my dad had beaten me. He had cursed me, and I just felt that I couldn't be who I really am, who I was. So I needed a way out, and I needed to numb the life energy that I had in the yearning for the person I could become because I could not be both. I could not live in that carcass. You know, he felt like he was dead. Okay, interesting. So it felt like he was, you know, interesting, guys. So, um, you know, he felt like he was wearing a body that wasn't who he really was. Okay, so I could not be with. I'm just gonna say it. Could not be with men. That's what it's saying here. Okay, and I could not be myself. I could not be the person I wanted to be. And like this space, most people who can survive that level of abuse and they have a kind of a stronger inner force, or they were able to. I just didn't have it, and I never processed what had happened to me when I was much younger. My dad was abusive in a different way, and he kind of brainwashed us. And so my brother was a he was just a nasty, horrible person. And dad, oh, that's right. It's saying here that my dad made us compete for everything. There was not a moment in life where you didn't compete. And he wanted to raise us to be able to kind of almost kill each other for things like food or simple things. Okay. So that's what he was talking about. Okay. So he was raised like that. He does not have any, he's completely shallow. He thought, interesting. Wow. So it's telling me here, guys. I think I've done this before. Okay, these readings where I would Trump as a child, but it's saying here that Trump as a child, he was kind of caught between being humiliated by the dad. So the only way he could escape the humiliation was if he competed. It's weird. Okay, it's kind of like either you compete or you get up. Either you compete and you kind of like are truculent, or you what is it? It's like you're humiliated. So it's like very clearly here he was set up in this world where like either you crush everyone and everything and you don't care about anything, whatever you do what you can, or you're humiliated, like for, well, look at you, look at this, look at that, look at that. And it's actually saying that it, for some weird reason, at the same time, it looks like maybe because he was older, this Freddie guy, he was treated a little better than Trump, and Trump hated him for that reason. And that's why, oh my God, it's saying here that's why he was so awful to him towards the end. And he said he did all these terrible things. Okay, wow, oh my, that's it. Wow, his son, interesting, that's right. That's the story Barbara is saying here. Following the death of Freddie, his son Fred III got married and had a child. Shortly after the birth, the baby began having seizures, which later developed in cerebral palsy. So that's the story, right? That the whole thing with the health insurance or like something like that. Okay, so that explains his sense of vindictiveness and the sense of like that he will crush anyone. And if you ever do something, that's why he's like has this weird. I'm not justifying, guys. I'm just explaining how the mindset. Okay, so how are we gonna tell us how we're gonna get rid of your brother, and how if you could tell us. Okay. Oh my God, Sally. Oh my God, let me just because it's unreal, but it's real. We need to like. And Donald Trump stopped paying the medical bills because the family challenged Fred Sr.'s will. Guys, can you imagine? I mean, just like now you could see what he's capable of. This is, and guys, his own family. It's not as if he didn't have money, right? It's not as if he didn't have money. So he goes and stops paying. The child has cerebral palsy, okay, and he cuts the medical stuff. That is the kind of person we're dealing with here. And the brother's like, yeah, yeah. So, okay, oh my God, I'm just like, okay, is there an antidote to this person? How are we gonna, he's saying like there's as you were saying, there's one good thing about Trump that everybody should learn from him, which is the ability to imagine something and to believe it's going to happen and to go for it. Okay, that is something that he's very good at, and one of the reasons why he's able to survive, because he has no conscience, he has no guilt. He just feels like the world is his oyster. This is kind of, it's a, that's how he survived. But the reason why his downfall is coming also because he doesn't understand that things could turn, you know what I mean? He has no sense of consequence, because guys, let's get real, he never faced consequences for anything because he was so aggressive, right? So his dad in a way raised him to be like that, to be ultra super competitive, and he would not face consequences. Okay, so that's what I'm explaining. Okay, so now he's saying, but because he had that, he doesn't understand that it's guys, that sign says, where objects in the mirror are much closer than when they appear. Objects in the mirror are closer than they appear. So you know what I mean. So this is interesting. Okay, so so wow. So Trump is not aware of how close they are to getting him down, and nothing. This is the thing. The fact that he's a sociopath and a psycho, whatever you call it, whatever description, the fact that he doesn't feel like other people feel, um, in a way, is his downfall, because he doesn't. And this is also why he was not stopped, because he has no conscience. He's not afraid in some ways, right? I mean, he's afraid of different things, but he doesn't care. Like, oh, I'm hurting somebody. What does that even mean to him? Nothing. It means nothing. So this is it. Okay, so it's saying that, suggesting that. So how are you gonna get rid of it? It's gonna be, it's like the harder they fall. There's something like he's high, he's in a high place, but he's gonna fall. The higher they fall, isn't it something like that? The higher you are, the higher you fall, something like that. So it's like there's a whole thing is crumbling, and he's saying you could be assured. He's saying you could be assured that the truth about who he really is gonna come out. And he's saying, not just come out, I see highs, and I see, like, as he's dying, Trump, right? It's like I see him, like it's almost like I see from above. He's in a place I told you before, sort of like a the bigger they are, the harder they fall. That's right. So like I see it from above, like he's in some sort of cell, like a something like that. He's like in a fetal position. He's like this because he was discovered. The thing about the narcissist and people like him, he has this deep shame that his whole life he has been trying to get away from. Okay, so this whole the thing that is everything is comes. Imagine like a person so afraid of the truth, and the truth coming out, and he has to hide he has to go, and he goes crazy. Okay, when the whole thing is coming out, and it's saying the only way that the antidote is saying the antidote for Trump is truth. That's it. The antidote for Trump is truth. Okay, so they're saying the antidote for truth is in the sense of like that everything about Trump has to, how he's always fighting for documents to come out for stuff because the truth he cannot. This is the thing. Go for truth. Don't even attacking him doesn't work. Just show the truth of who he really is. And it's like eventually the courts are doing it. Okay, and it's just saying it's just so happened that we were in a moment in history where television, where falseness became reality, right? Where he was successful because he understood that it was kind of everything was kind of a joke for him. And can you imagine a person who thinks like that? That's how he thinks. So it's just that guy. He looks very small, like this, like kind of hiding like in a dark, it looks like a dungeon or something. He's not a dungeon, he's never going to be in a dungeon necessarily, but that's what he looks like, a very hidden place. Like he's like, oh, like as they found out, oh my god, like he's goes crazy. Okay, and like I said before, guys, I do think he's going to some sort of mental institution because of that. Like he cannot be out on the streets. It's gonna, because guys, the mental, imagine somebody who has and this is a really wonderful in some ways, except that is used for the bad, this ability to perceive, to see that whatever you believe is the reality, and to push for it, right? But accept that it's all about stepping into anybody, everyone in front of him, and doing illegal things and all of it. But he's in a way, he's a negative force of nature. But what happens is that it falls because the reality, it's like he has nothing there's nothing, there's no there, as they say it. Okay, the money's fake, everything about him is fake. So so for example, so that's it, guys. That's what it's showing. Is the big lesson of Trump is that everything is going to be exposed. And they're saying what is the heart, and what is the, like I said, the interesting here, right? What is the solution? The solution is truth. Is the truth, and it truth about the numbers, mostly saying truth about the numbers. Okay, you have to expose all the financial documents, even if for you guys right now it seems like, oh, it's concentration camps and all of it, but the way to go down is the documents. And even the Republicans are seeing it's the finances. It's like money trail for everything, because this country is about money, right? In some ways. And it's just like how, guys, remember how people are so, oh, the Republicans were fake outraged at I think it was Julian or Joaquin Castro, I don't remember which one, but they published the list of the Trump donors. Meanwhile, right, they're constantly doing guys, that Don McGahn, he, before he was in the White House, he worked at a Koch brother organization that did just that. All they did was look for uh for dark stuff about the Democratic donors. So it's like such bullshit. They're like, oh, we can't do it. We can't do it. That is like terrible. Like, oh, poor you. Are you sad? Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, really, So this is it, guys. This is why transparency and truth is everything. Okay, that's when it can shame people and show the connection, the financial connections, and that should be it. Okay. So interesting, no? Interesting. Oh, so anything you want to tell us something? It's like, wow, it's also it's showing that they're all falling, guys. It shows like kind of like those, they're not gonna be hung, but that's kind of the image, when then we put the thing on the person, and they have to, the thing is removed, and the person is hung. I see Jared, Ivanka, Eric, Don Jr. But it says that Don Jr. goes faster or earlier or something. They all go down. Seeing they all go down because it's saying there's a bigger price to pay for people who got to where they are without deserving it at all. It happens a lot. And sometimes we see bosses and stuff like that, but the way with these people, guys, it's so fake. Everything is fake about them. It's kind of interesting. It's actually quite interesting. It's really quite interesting. So, you know what I'm saying? It's very interesting, this actually. So that's it. It's showing that it's a law of nature and that it's expediting for Trump. Even okay, so what how okay, so Freddie, Mr. Freddie, if you're there still, okay, he's like, yeah, we don't see it happening. It's very frustrating. How can we deal with this frustration? It's written in the stars, it's saying. Like, everybody says it, right? Like it's gonna happen. It's already saying that Letitia James, she's already, there's a lot of people working on it, not just her. But the truth is there. It's only a matter of time when this whole thing explodes, okay? And it's gonna be not containable. Like once it explodes, it's not containable. Okay. Okay. What about Bar? I don't know why I'm like, because they know I think of Justin, I think of Bar. I'm like, what the hell? That toad trash is there. Okay. So what about Bar? He's there. Okay, what is it? Bar. How is he gonna go? How's Bar gonna go? How's Bar gonna go? Do you know anything about it? It's like they're all, yeah, it's showing, guys, that there's so many investigations that they can't stop it. Barr is just like he's unable to stop everything. Every single thing is too much. And he's sick, it's saying actually. Oh, he has diarrhea. Oh, interesting, no? Does he have diarrhea? Yeah? And actually, oh, yeah. Yeah, blessings to him, yeah. Oh, sorry. Okay. Sorry, guys. Did I disrespect? Oh my god. So okay, what is? Yeah, I feel like, guys. I feel like he feels guilty. Okay, even though he had that death, very sad death. Like, I feel like he feels guilty that he didn't do it when he was younger. When he didn't, he should have left the family. He should have left completely, but he didn't, and he still feels guilty. Okay, just because he feels the heaviness of the. Okay, so okay, so what can we do to stop if you have any yeah, just the truth. Just make it uncomfortable and remember, never believe the both sides saying, never believe propaganda. Always go for the truth and don't buy into this. Just go, the truth is this. Always fight for the truth because it's the antidote of everything. Okay, so okay, so find the light, okay, Freddie. Don't feel bad. Just go to the spirit, to go to the light. If you because I still feel, guys, he's still kind of disturbed by the whole thing. Okay. Oh, interesting. Bedwings is interesting questions. Oh, yeah. So, can Fred communicate with Trump? Interesting. He was like, that bitch. I feel like, guys, I see him pulling his feet at night or something. And I think, oh, can I tell you? I told you, well, I don't know if I told you this, but that guy, what's his name? What's the guy the lawyer? The Ron, what was the name of the guy that was really horrible, that was also happened to be gay and died of AIDS? What's his name? That was an awful person. Um, Roy Cohn. Okay, Roy Cohn. It's saying that he's like, me and Roy Cohn will fight for the nightmare. Because Roy Cohn, you know what happened to Roy Cohn, right? He was very loyal to Trump until he got AIDS, and he, back in those days in the late '80s, AIDS. Nowadays, thank the Lord, thank God, there's a lot of medicines that really delay a lot of symptoms of AIDS. You can live a fairly very long life, but back in those days, you withered away. It was very very awful, cruel disease. Okay, so he was like that, and Trump does not want to associate himself with him. No, that was very smart. Associate himself with him. Interesting, but no, but really, he did not. He pretended he didn't know him when he realized, right? So he was very hurt by this. Okay, he actually, Roykon was very hurt by this and never forgave him. And I think he died also with a lot of anger. This Roykon, no, he's a great man. He was a great man. He was. No, he was not. So interesting. So he does. I think I told you guys. I think Trump is haunted by many people. Many people. Huh. So that's it. I think he communicate, but it's almost like I feel like he appears in front of him. He doesn't say much. He's like kind of like, I see you. I see you. I see you. I see it. Yeah. Uh-huh. So, interesting. And he knows, guys, and I feel like Trump, in a weird way, I feel like he's already living a kind of a nightmare, even though we're living the nightmare with him. That's why it's bad. But it's like, he seems to know what's coming to him, the revenge in the other side. You know what I mean? Like the kind of a guys, this, right? When you arrive, you have to feel the pain you caused on others. So it's gonna be like billions of years. Can you imagine Trump? So so he knows in some weird way, he seems to know that this is also seems to augment his paranoia. Okay. So interesting, no? Interesting. So that's the story. Okay, so that was the answer. No, interesting, interesting. So thank you, Winks. Right? It was cool. It was cool. I liked it. It was interesting, Okay. So so now guys, okay, so all right, so then okay. Now Bella asked, what is the reason for the trade war? I saw I did it one reading one time, never forgot. It was clear to me that Putin asked for it because he would destroy the US. Like the connection, because Putin wants to create separation. And so the US was friendly with China, whatever, right? And so no, no, no. Oh, right. It's to destroy the country. Let's get real. Like, what other purpose is there to the China thing? Okay, let me just, you know what, guys? Let me ask. But this is the thing. I think I saw it. This was the time I saw it very clearly. Now I think I'm seeing it again. But let me just ask. The thing that I don't think I understand is why. Let me just ask also, why is Bannon? Because Bannon is, oh, look at China. I'm not saying, guys, China is an angel, but to me, it's so stupid because the consumers are paying for, as you know, consumers are paying for it, not China. Okay. So, and did you see that China canceled the orders of from all these American farms? So, yeah, thank you. And I don't, guys, I don't, I kind of actually do feel bad for the farmers, even though a lot of them voted for Trump. Their lives are over, okay, because of this. So okay, so let me just find out. So what is the story? What is this the bullshit, like the China thing? What the hell? Oh, it's saying here, oh my God, Banner's telling him you need to have a scapegoat. We need to you say, you remember Japan in the 80s? Remember the cars in Japan, Japanese cars, like you have to do something like that where you have to have enemies. You have to have like the wrong, the good and the bad. And you have to do that. But okay, so but isn't that okay? So that's okay. So but what is it about? Isn't it obvious that it's bad for the economy? No, but Trump, the whole thing they're suggesting here that in theory, okay, it's like, oh yeah, let's give the guys, because if in theory, if this was true, it's like, the only way this could work for Americans is if the salaries were raised so that people could get jobs in factories again that paid a good salary. But obviously, never is true. It would be one thing if it's like, okay, and then it's much more, it's true, like socialism, quote unquote, right? Where we're going to increase the salaries of people who work in factories and we're not going to get imports as much from China, whatever, right? But the costs of goods are going to go up. But it's not even that. It's like, just screw it up, So, okay, so what is it? What is the purpose of the China thing? Destruction, aggression. But guys, and I see again Putin rerouting. Putin wants to reroute the interconnections, okay? So he wants to create, you know what I mean? He wants to weaken the current alliances. That's it. Weakening, because guys, that's what we're saying. They're saying very clearly, we want to disrupt the current world order. So if before it was Europe and China and whatever, now it's like, it has to be Russia and North, like the bullshit states. Let's get real. Like, I mean, there's zero importance economically to North Korea. There's no importance whatsoever. The same thing with Russia. Russia has the economy the size of, I don't know, Italy or Portugal or something. Okay. Like that's totally irrelevant economically speaking. Seriously. So it has nothing to do with the economy. It's just about changing the conversation and trying to create the guys, and I remember reading this about people who are specialists in Russia, who they say that the Putin is very revanchist, very about revenge. So he dreams of the world that was like the Cold War, how there was separation, like us versus them, and very much like, Russia was bigger then because it was kind of the other quote unquote superpower, and they want to capture that, but at the same time it's difficult to capture that if he steals all the money from the Russian people, all of these people, like all the oligarchs. So that's it. It's just disrupting the order and creating destruction, you know creating destruction of a lot of things that have been going on for a long time. They're going to disrupt it and change it. But doesn't Trump see how damaging it is for the farmers and all these people? It's like, no, people, guys, they're sociopaths, right? They don't care about people. They don't care about you and I, or an actual farmer. They think, oh, look at the big picture. We destroy things. We put, whatever had existed before, we have to destroy. Because, guys, that is one of the things that is really scary about Bannon and Trump, right? They were serious when they said, let's destroy everything, right? So this is it. Okay. Interesting. I mean, it's not interesting, but so how is the just quickly, guys, since I'm doing this with my vision, how are the relationship, like, if Trump leaves, how is the relationships with China gonna, like, how are things gonna change with China? Okay. How are things gonna change? 1 second. Does China like this? No. But they feel like they have a lot of leverage because they own a lot of American debt, as you probably know. And also they have for them it's very important to have a lot of exports, but that's also a problem, okay? Because the American market is big. So, but they actually seem to be relatively measured. You guys, you know how, like, for example, they targeted when they said they're not going to buy something, it's all about the states that voted for Trump, the Republican states. So they're paying back, okay, in a longer term. They have a longer term vision of this whole thing. So, okay. And I feel like, yeah, it's just interesting, guys. It's saying, it's so interesting. It's saying that I was like expecting to say, oh, China is so much more powerful because it's clear, right, that they're going to be the one superpower. But at the same time, it's saying that the world, the way the world is going to be, there's going to be a lot of like natural disasters and the kinds of things. We're going to have to work together. We can now no longer have the thing like, oh, zero sum game kind of situation. It has to be about, the beneficial. It has to be beneficial to most people, not just one country versus another. So it may be that that we lose some wealth, but to the benefit of like more, so what's going to happen? And I'm actually curious, what's going to happen to these farmers that lost everything, right? Because they have the what is it called, the hand, not to say handouts horrible, but like, the what is it called, the makeup money, right? To say, oh, no, here's all these. They get money even if they don't sell their goods, just so that it looks good for, right? So what's going to happen? They're furious, they're angry, they don't want anything to do with it. And it's gonna be subsidies. That's right. Subsidies. That's right. That's right. Subsidies. That's right. So they're very upset, guys. It's very sad because it shows these huge farms and they're looking at like nobody's gonna buy it. So why produce it? And they're just like cannot believe it happened, that they were used, and they're so angry. So angry. Because guys, if you remove a market like that, it's like very hard. What are you gonna do? You know? So it's going to take decades to rebuild. And they're going to have to, it's kind of sad. I mean, it's not kind of sad, it's very sad because to them it's this matter of pride. It's their work. And it was taken away from them, okay? Just out of like, because it was like had a mood. But that said, guys, I feel like, so how interesting. Yeah. I just feel like it's very interesting, guys, very interesting. Because they're gonna lose a lot of the rural supporters. Like it's gonna be, there's gonna be lores, stories about those. It kind of like the depression, how like there was like suddenly all these things ended. Kind of, even though they're gonna have some money for a while, it still feels like their lives are gone. Their sense of self-worth is gone in that way, because it's like I have these huge tract. They had these businesses that were working, and the guy did something, and like their businesses are over. So they're never gonna believe the same people again, and they're gonna be angry, guys, in a way, different way than we're angry, you know because the Trump and it impacted their livelihood. This is what I was telling you guys. When finances end up affecting people, that's when they move. So right now, maybe if you live in like the East or the West Coast or whatever, you're probably not. Why don't? Yeah, they're going to protest. But a protest is not. There aren't that many farmers, Jess, right? So so that's why, like, right? Um, so it's not about protest, it's more than that. It's like, I know where you live. Like, these are people that are their communities, they're like pillars of their communities and so forth. And they, it's bigger, it's more intimate. Okay. Okay, so more blatant cruelty. Yeah. Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's so, but you know what? Like, I feel, guys, you know what it is? I feel like it's almost like we see the truth finally of all these talkers, those people who don't actually walk the talk. And they preferred, oh, they like him because he was honest or whatever, right? So what the hell? So now that's the price. Okay, that's the price you pay. And you have to, same thing, you have, oh my God. So can China, okay, can China hack? Okay, no, I don't think they're gonna hack. No tax return. No, but it's saying tell me here, guys, that I think the House already has the tax return. There's something about the tax returns, or enough. There's enough tax information or financial information that, and I feel like actually he may have provided this to the banks. Those banks that they're wanting information from. I feel like he gave that to the banks. There's something where he had to give all this information, and they still have it. Okay, so. So this is it's saying, yeah, but truth is coming out. So, you know, oh my God, guys. So this is it. Interesting. Today, interesting for Americans. No, interesting for Americans. Oh, Andrew McCabe, guys. What's so interesting? The whole thing with Andrew McCabe came out today, right? Remember how Andrew McCabe was suing at the beginning earlier, and yesterday was the thing about Peter Strzok and now Andrew McCabe. So he's suing the DOJ, right? So interesting. So I feel like as right. So just quickly, what's got happening to Andrew McCabe? It's showing him in a card like, yeah, like, yeah, win. Okay, yeah, I won. And he almost like laughing at the people who are like embarrassed that they went along with it. Okay. If he's vindicated, but I feel like there's a timing issue. Yeah. Guys, I feel like it has to be now for some reason. I feel like they're both doing it now. They're not waiting for Trump to leave for a reason. That it's yet another opportunity for truth to come out. Okay, and I feel like people don't want to mess with them. Okay, the real like legit people. His retirement back, yeah, yeah, and also damages. Also, not just the retirement, but damages. Okay, so Janie's asking, do you think Russian protesters will get democracy? Guys, it's. I feel like Putin is not to say like. And by the way, my mom, she's very like, I can't even tell you. She's like, well, Russia's not so bad. Long story. I don't want to get into a conversation with her, but but the problem is that Putin, is like he's like Trump. He's so scared because he's done so many crimes. And I swear to God, guys, I see him like, I don't know if he's poisoned or like he's coughing blood. Okay, Putin. And like this. He's very sick. Okay, so so but he's gonna hold on to power until he can, and then there's gonna be a moderate oligarch until but this is not new, guys. Okay, it's not gonna happen like this. No, 1, 2, 3. No, it's gonna take several years. I think I did a reading a while back, almost a year ago. Okay, I think I forgot when. Yeah, it's gonna take a while to transition because the problem is these people stole so much money from the government, from the Russian government. So how do you get it back? Okay, how do you find justice for them if it's the whole thing with this mob, guys, this Russian mob is very dangerous. Okay, for them, even, it's not just one person, it's the whole network of them. So you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So so that's what's difficult. I don't know how they're going to do it. Okay, so then let me just go back here. So okay, yeah, I think he's celebrating, guys. Okay, I don't see, right, I mean, what, right, what, like, it's the whole thing was so unfair. But I have a sense, guys, I swear to God, I feel like I have a sense that he must still have friends, right, in the FBI. And so he's being told that stuff is coming. They're like, I know that, I mean, he doesn't say it obviously, like, hi, I'm Andrew McCabe. I'm suing now because I know stuff's coming out. Mhm. So that's kind of what it feels like. I feel like somebody was, he has a lot of advisors. and you're saying, look, this is something's going to come out, so it's a good timing, good timing here. Yeah, you know, to do go for it now, because those kinds of conversations. So I think he knows that there is something, the fall. And it's something like interesting that it shows that it's not just that Trump is leaving, that as Trump leaves, the good people are, it's like a scale. Okay, as Trump goes down, the good people go up. So it's necessary for the good people to demand things, so that, you know what I mean? It's interesting. So oh guys, you know what? I sorry, I think I interrupted the information about Bar when I was talking to Mr. Fred Jr. I said, because it's reminding me of Bar, because I still see Bar. There he is, Bar trash. So how does Bar leave? I feel like he's sick, guys, and I think it's somebody working, some works, he's very sick. He's very sick, okay? Bar, I feel like he's, sickly and sick, or like chronic disease, or celiac disease, something like I do think he has a digestive disease of some sort. I don't know what it is. But what makes him leave? When he can't stop, there's all these other lawsuits that are going to pop up connected to Trump. He can't stop it, and he's sick, and also he gets tired of Trump yelling at him. So, but I think they all fall kind of together, but that's how it is. Okay, it's not like they can. Have you noticed, guys? All these people in the Trump administration, they look very unhealthy. Okay, so hi. So so you see what I'm saying? So they look very unhealthy. So it doesn't work. You know what I mean? Like they're all like, it's not, they're exhausted, and I think it's like the energy that they put out in the world. So you know what I mean? So okay, so Barbara, let's see, Mills, she had an interesting question. I just the last question, okay, because now we're, it's really over, because it started, guys, fire, I started 6:30. So it's time to go. I know I sometimes overstay, but last question, seriously. Okay, so this question is about the nurses. The nurses was interesting, because so Barbara Mills said that there's like some sort of rumor that you see those nurses in Dayton, Ohio. They're like, it was so strange. It looked kind of odd. There's rumors that these are actors. I don't know, but let's find out. Okay, so I don't know. I don't know the background on who these people are, but let's find out if it was. What's the deal with the photograph of the nurses? What's happening? Oh, so what it suggests here is that they contacted the hospital, or somebody, connected to Trump or whatever, like, they did, as the operatives connected to Trump contacted the hospital, and contacted somebody who they knew was a Trump supporter, and said, can you get together all the women who support Trump? So they did. So in other words, they removed the women. I think there's other women of color also. They did not want them on the photo, but they went. If you notice, actually interesting, the room looked kind of weird from what I remember. So I feel like they were told to to stay in a certain room, or like, and that's what it was. It's not that they don't. It's almost as if, like, I don't know how many nurses exist in a hospital, or working there or something like that, but they made sure that only the ones that were Trump supporters, they kind of like arranged for them to be there. Okay. And so that's what it looks like. It's not that all of them were like pro Trump, is that they chose the ones who would be smiling or happy to be near him. Okay. Even if they were not, they're like, oh my God, President Trump, or whatever. They're excited to see him. So I think they're real. Okay. It's just that they gathered them on purpose, okay, to create this kind of, this thing. Okay, so that's the informations. All right, guys. So I don't know that I'm going to do one tomorrow. Maybe Saturday, definitely Saturday, or probably Sunday. Okay, there's going to be another one. I'm still thinking about the New America thing, creating the New America, but I have to think about it more deeply. Okay, because I don't know how do I say it? Yeah. Yeah, I have to really plan it, okay? I have to plan it. Yeah. So because there's a lot of details and a lot of things, okay, to think about. But anyway, but if not, if there's no that, but it's going to be a reading on Sunday anyway. So okay, so today was interesting, guys. Interesting, unexpected things. I like it when there's, new things, interesting things. Okay, so have a good night, everybody. Okay, and see you soon. See you, in a day or two. Okay. If not, if there's breaking news, then I'll do tomorrow. Probably not. Okay, and then just Sunday or something like that. Okay, I'll let you know. I'll let you know. All right. Okay. Bye. Bye. See you later, alligators. See you later, alligators.